Are your strategy calls flopping and you're not able to make sales? Today I want to share with you the sales call strategy that actually works. All right, welcome back. Sales calls are often the most frustrating thing that new coaches experience because it's like, I don't want to be salesy. I know I have something that my ideal clients want. Like I know I can help them, but I just can't seem to make sales. So if that sounds familiar, then you're gonna love this video. I'm gonna share with you a little bit of the story of how my sales process has changed and how it's gotten easier, but I've been able to make more. How does that work? I'm gonna share that with you today. Before we get there, don't forget to subscribe if you'd like more videos on branding and marketing yourself and your business, so you can grow your income and create your very own version of a lavish life. I publish on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as do a live free training every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. All right, so let's jump right in to the strategy call strategy that works. You might also call these discovery calls. Some people call them clarity calls, strategy sessions, breakthrough sessions. Basically, they're the free call that comes before you book a client. I used to call mine strategy sessions, and then I realized that people were actually wanting a strategy on the call. And I was like, hey, I'm giving away a lot of information and I'm basically doing free coaching on the call, but I'm not getting anything back from it. So I changed the name of the call just a little bit. I changed it to breakthrough call, and that worked well for me, but I was just kind of like, really what I'm doing is I'm helping you get clarity on these free calls. So now they're called clarity calls. You can call them whatever you like. Some people call them discovery calls because they're positioning it as, hey, I'm gonna help us discover if it's a good fit for us to work together. My goal versus just really helping you figure out if it's a good fit for us to work together is to help you get clarity. And that's why I call my calls, I name them clarity calls. So it's really up to you. So if you hear me say strategy call, discovery call, whatever, just know that that's what I'm talking about. So the strategy that I used to do with my clarity calls, my discovery calls, was one that was a little bit more pushy. When someone booked a call with me, my goal was to help them see why they needed my help. And then by the end of it, I was like, all right, either we're working together and you are investing right now, or I'm basically forgetting about you. That kind of works. It works really for about 20% of the people who are gonna book a call with you. About 20% of the people who book a call with you are gonna purchase no matter what. They are getting on the call so that they can invest with you. So when you say, let's get started right now, they're like, okay, great. But if that's your only strategy, what's gonna happen is for the 80% of the other calls, the people who were not ready to book with you yet, but they just wanted to get to know you, they wanted a little bit more information, they're kind of testing out the waters, you're probably gonna lose them forever. So the strategy call strategy that works now, or what I use for my clarity calls, is to, number one, reposition the call. So I call them clarity calls. That's the very first thing, is calling them clarity calls. Choose what your outcome and your objective is for these calls. I recommend that you don't offer coaching on the calls. Like, don't try to provide a band-aid or a solution. Like, your goal is to listen. Your goal is to have them talk 70 to 80% of the time and really get clear on what they need, why they are where they are, what's in their way, so that you understand if you can help them. Your goal is to figure out, can I help you? I'm only gonna make an offer if I know and I'm 100% clear that I can actually help the person on the other side of that call. So that was my first step. My first step was to reposition the call in my head, as well as rename it, so I knew what my goal was for the call. If your goal is a discovery call where you're like, hey, I just wanna see if this person is a good fit and if I'm a good fit for them, then make that your outcome, but just be really clear on what your desired goal is for the call. The next step for the strategy call, a strategy that works, is to screen your calls. Make sure that the people who come to sign up for a call with you, they have been screened. They jumped through some sort of hoop. They've indicated interest. They've done something, application, something. When I first started doing my calls, I was allowing almost anyone to book on my calendar. And that was the month that I booked 27 calls. And it was my first 5-figure month, which was great. but I did 27 calls. Now, if I were to do 27 calls, it likely would be like a multiple 5-figure month, but 27 calls, it was a lot. And a lot of those calls were with people who were not qualified. They were not ready, or like they just weren't qualified. Let's just leave it at that. So the process that I learned is also the process that I teach in You've Got Clients, which is to qualify your calls. If you'd like more information on creating a sales process that brings high quality clients to you, then you definitely want to check out You've Got Clients. I will leave more details in the description box, or you can go to you'vegotclients.com in order to check out all the details there. Inside of You've Got Clients, we create a simple system to bring qualified clients into your coaching business. I love working with clients inside of that program. So once you have screened your clients or potential clients, prospects, and you know that you're getting quality calls, then you can move into step 3 of the strategy to get, like, I put a lot of strategy in this, but you can move into step 3 of this strategy, which is to drop the high pressure sales tactics. So step 3, no more high pressure. Drop those high pressure sales tactics. Turn the call into a conversation. Don't put so much pressure on yourself or on them to make a decision right there on the call. The truth is, they signed up for the call because they already made a decision. They made a decision to get help. They made a decision to ask for help. So you don't have to ask them, do you want to work with me, or do you want to enroll in this program? They do. It's simply a matter of helping them see that that is the next logical step. And when you realize that, the conversation is so much easier, so much more chill and relaxed, because all you're doing is helping them see that that's the next logical step. And when the stars align, that's the next logical step. They can see it. They already know they want to work with you. The investment is right. Whether or not you have a payment plan or whatever, that's when you'll make that sale. One thing that I changed that I actually really like now is I do still offer a incentive for people to get started right away, but I typically don't allow them to make the purchase on the call anymore. And I know, like a lot of people are like, what? You know, you're always saying, make the sale on that very first call. And it's still possible. And, you know, it's still something that I recommend, especially if you're just getting started. But for me now, because my business is structured a little bit different. So let me explain what I mean about that. In the past, I thought I wanted to create a coaching business that was more centered around group coaching and one-on-one coaching. And so it would have been like 70 to 80% of my revenue and everything was coming from one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and the like. And then maybe 30% was coming from courses. I recently decided, as of like a year and a half ago, to swap that around. And my goal was to build a business where around 70% of my revenue was coming from on-demand courses, passive income products, and stuff that didn't require a whole lot of my personal time. And then 30% was coming from my retreat, one-on-one coaching, and some of my higher touch group coaching and done for you packages. So once I restructured my business model that way, I realized that I could do my sales calls a little bit differently because I only have so many spaces for one-on-one coaching clients. If you decide that you don't want to sign up, well, there's someone else that would love that spot. So I didn't have to be as stressed about all of that because 70% of my revenue is coming from on-demand stuff. I've set up the funnels the way that I wanted to set them up, and so that it sustains my business and grows the income the way I want it to grow. And then people naturally filter into my higher ticket programs. So because there's less stress on my business to generate revenue from one-on-one and group coaching, the sales calls naturally became a less stressed activity, if that makes sense. So think about what it is for you. Do you want your business to run off of one-on-one and group programs? If so, you're gonna have to do a lot of sales calls. And yeah, you might have to structure it so that you're just working with that top 20% who know they want to work with you. And at that point, it's really just a numbers game. You can use the You've Got Clients system and formula to fill your calendar and even hire salespeople to start working those calls and create a great business for yourself. But if you want a business model that's a little bit more based on courses, kind of like I have, and honestly, I think it's a little bit more introvert friendly, then you don't need to be so adamant about making that sale on the very first call. You can do what I do, which is I do still provide a deadline to get started and an incentive for people to get started right away, because I love working with fast action takers. But I provide a date and I say, hey, this is how long this rate is valid for, and here's the link where you can go to invest. And then a lot of times I'm just kind of hanging out in the living room, and then I see a payment come through for several $1,000s. And that feels really good too, because it feels like, wow, they made that decision to say yes to themselves without me having to force them to. And that feels really good. So think about what that is for you. So those are my 4 steps for the strategy call strategy that actually works. If you feel like, okay, I really don't want to do sales calls, I completely understand. I did another video on my 0 sales call method, and I will link it right now so that you can go and check that out. In the meantime, what other questions do you have on sales, and how do you feel when someone tries to do pushy sales tactics with you? Comment below, let me know. Let's get the conversation started, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.